My name is Rajender Katal, and I've been in the IT industry for the last 35 years in multiple roles. The last tenure being as a head of risk and compliance with HCL. And now I realized there is a dearth of education, so I have chosen to start teaching the security world, the ISO world, the standards around security, business continuity. So I felt that it will be a good opportunity to come here and share with you some of the important things in life, assuming we are on the move with respect to digital India. I must give you a little insight before that. Strong economies like American economies or many other companies wide, none of them are getting spared. As recent as June, Merckx was a shipping company, a huge company with 1/5 of the turnover of the shipping operations worldwide. It was attacked by NotPetya and ransomware. Now this ransomware was such a serious one, it affected huge operations, and there was a great outage with respect to the company's business operation. $200 to $300 million were lost because of this reason. So now the message to us is in India is that the economy is not only is growing, but there are strong economies which are developed. Their infrastructure is up to date. Still, they're not spared. So what happens to us? We don't have a great compliance. We don't have a great infrastructure. So it is very imperative that we, all of us, join hands and try and update ourselves with respect to the hygiene in the IT security, IT risk world. So the question comes, how do we go about? The cyber hacker, cyber crime, all is always going to happen. I got recently a list downloaded. Since 2005, India is figuring in the attacks. Either Ministry of Home, Ministry of Foreign Affairs getting hacked. Pakistan is also adding their acts in lieu of that. So what is ultimately happening is, even though India is not so IT ready, still hacking has been continuing, and worldwide all economies, all countries, including state departments everywhere, hacking is happening. Now what happens is, India, we don't follow something what I call it as compliance, and we don't have a great enforcement. Enforcement in IT security, enforcement in compliance of ISO standards, all this is like very important. Unless we have a basic hygiene in the IT culture, awareness of security in the culture, we are not going to be ready for digital India. Because I have seen compliance and enforcement are two things where the people need to be very, very cautious, and the organization should inculcate a culture of IT hygiene, IT security, IT risk. So I have some propositions, to all of you, those young students and others who could carry forward this message to attain a basic hygiene. I guess if this audio noise is not coming because of okay. So the baseline hygiene has to be created. Baseline security checkout needs to be done. Now many companies try and what they do is they try and map it to the ISO 27001 control, which is an ISO standard. Some of you may be knowing, but in the current world, this is not going to suffice. Even ISO 27001 will fall short of the outages, the disasters, and the hacking world that take us down. So there would be many more things it needs to be done, which should be like a culture in the organization. So I can start with some of the things like, first of all, the basic IT hygiene needs to be understood, and people should be asked to get trained on ITIL framework. ITIL is a easy framework which can be, people can take it up. Aside from that, you need to have a lot of security controls which have to be added to the infrastructure. So 27001 ISO standard is a security standard which is there for quite some time. It has been last updated in 2015, 2013. This may also go through a change. The reason being, it did not know the extent of cyber hacking and the cyber crimes that are going to happen. So the ISO committee is reviewing this seriously. So ISO 27001, you need to add few more things. What you need to add? You need to add the SANS top 20 controls. You need to add Computer Internet Society's top 20 controls. Go to their website, you realize the controls are already there. So, in the sense, what I'm saying is, if there is a great orientation and awareness about these controls, I can bet this would be a good platform or a baseline standard to take it up. The next thing is, after being aware, people need to be, given a thorough orientation and training. Now the training level is something that needs to be also seen, whether the training is going to be effective enough. So one needs to invoke a lot of measures like not only training feedback, but also see the effectiveness of the training. So, one of the questions that come in the mind is, if more incidents are reported from the security breach point of view, what does that mean? Does it mean organization is weak? What could be the guess? The organization will not be weak. That shows that now people are aware how to log incidents and how to understand an incident. Because in the current day, people don't even know that there are security breaches happening behind their computers, networks, and behind the computer systems. So when you have more incidents reported, it is assumed that the maturity level of the organization is increasing. So it should not be seen as a negative aspect. This is one such area which needs to be dealt with. So apart from ITIL, which I already told you about, there are so many other sites. CERT-in, which is an Indian equivalent for the worldwide CERT companies. Those CERT sites have got a huge repository which can be assessed, and day-to-day vulnerabilities can be downloaded. There are zero-day attacks which are easily logged into the CERT sites. So whether you go to CERT Singapore or CERT UK, you're going to find a lot of information available to you. And each CERT is unique, You can't say that each CERT is copying the material and keeping the same copy. Every CERT has their own way of information passage. So you can download a lot of information from the CERT sites. So CERT, Computer Internet Society. There are other websites like ENISA. How many of you know NIST? NIST, which is an American standard. They give you whole host of repository for so many areas. Guidelines how to do encryption, guidelines how to do risk management, guidelines how to manage a good email management system, how to do spam filtering. So there's so many free standards available worldwide. Now this should become part of the culture in India. Otherwise, I feel digitization is going to be a very, very long walk. It's not going to end so easily. So everyone in their nook and corner, in their own organization, needs to build a culture of security. And if it is not understood well, then it won't be followed and not complied well. In fact, internal audit, it should be a great activity which should be also imbibed in the culture. So internal audit, external audit. Aside from that, if those who are very serious on security or on the risk, they need to make sure they kind of tie the appraisal some portion with respect to the contribution in security and risk, also on business continuity. So there are so many standards. We should try and map those standards with our organization. then only this digital drive in India is going to go successful. One more thing which even Obama has kind of enacted an appeal is that large corporates need to share threat information. So what is happening is it should be all collaborative. Here, people in some of the organizations, they don't want to share that they were attacked and they lost so much. But what has been other economies are doing is that they are sharing information to the other corporates so that it can be used intelligently for future attacks. So this kind of culture can make it again a digital India better. Assuming that with the Internet of Things, I see that the IP addressability is going to go very in an exponentially very big number, and we are already so many people in India. Everybody has an IP address. If you have smart TVs at home, those smart TVs can be hijacked, because they will be connected to a Wi-Fi. And recently I learned that even WPA2, which is a great latest standard on the protection of Wi-Fi, is also hackable. There is a crack for that also. So your TV, which has a camera fitted in, is there right in the drawing room, in the bedroom. So what happens? The camera can be hijacked. What happens to the fridge? Now I can tell you of an instance. I'm not going to take long time. I know there's a paucity of time, but Internet of Things can make you go wide.